A well-funded cable news network dedicated to hard news coverage with an international perspective you won't find elsewhere. What's not to like? So why then did Al Jazeera America fail to find an audience?
Introducing Al Jazeera America.
When it launched in 2013, Al Jazeera America set some lofty expectations.
Unbiased, fact-based reporting, groundbreaking investigative reports.
And for the most part, it delivered, offering solid, serious reporting from some well-respected journalists.
Al Jazeera America brings you more U.S. and global news than any other American news channel.
But no more. In a memo announcing the network is closing down, CEO Al Anstey told staff the business model is simply not sustainable in an increasingly digital world.
The global network of the future.
So what happened? Some say the channel wasn't widely available enough. It only reached 60% of U.S. households. The brand also struggled to shake the perception it was anti-American.
Those kinds of accusations are hard to recover from.
Others say the network just never distinguished itself in a crowded marketplace.
The channel had suffered from rock-bottom ratings, anywhere between just 20,000 to 40,000 viewers a night in prime time.
Regardless, 700 staffers will soon be out of work. Not to mention the fact that it had a handicap with the name. You know, the people just didn't want it. They were resistant to have it put on their cable dial. I never found it. I don't know if I had it. I don't know if it was accessible to my cable system. But I would watch it. And I did, when I was doing a couple of the pieces over the last 2 years, I went and looked at a number of the pieces they did. They were excellent.
Absolutely.
I mean, really good. They were long form, they were thorough, and excellent. So.
You know, when this project started, it seemed that money was no object, and you wonder if the oil economy in Qatar has something to do with that. But I think, and I've said this before, I think the biggest mistake they made from the beginning
that is owned by the Qatari government,
was even worrying about cable. They should have just gone straight to they said that the digital marketplace is changing? Absolutely. They should have just streamed this, not worried about cable. This could have been one of the choices you see when you go to Apple TV. And instead they decided to compete with, 9 million cable channels, and nobody ever found them, including you or me.
You did say that from the beginning, and I remember thinking, I think Dan's probably correct about this. I sat on the DuPont jury for many years, and we awarded about 4 of their investigative reports. Really tough stuff, where those reporters were brave. Skinheads in Russia, the drug cartel in Mexico, one of the finest pieces I ever saw about what that meant in real terms, in human terms. Last year, or a couple of years ago, what was going on with abortion clinics in Texas. I mean, tough, really well done stuff. And not to mention that a number of colleagues that we all know from the business over years who are wonderful, know what they're doing, got jobs there. So this sort of makes me really sad, because I think they could have had an audience, as you said, and built if they had remained online. I agree with you.
You know, I think that I have to go back to the name, because it seems to me that there was just denial. They even said it in this release that it came as a surprise to them that people would say that the name was a barrier. And yet, when you're trying to sell ads that's the only way they could have become sustainable, is if they were able to build a business model that included advertising beyond the subscription base. How many American companies or European brands, international global brands, are going to want to be associated there? It just, right from the beginning, they established a handicap I don't think they were able to overcome. We'll never know. The good journalism just didn't reach an audience that created that critical mass.
Yeah, and I think that you have to set this in the broader context of a declining marketability of international news in our country. I mean, look at what happened to Global Post, and now Al Jazeera, although it was Al Jazeera America, still relied heavily on its international reach for a lot of its content. Maybe the market just isn't there.